as spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Undercurrent, we have the red Zerg player. We have the red Zerg here from land of Finland, representing Basilisk. We have his teammate as well, the Finnish Zerg himself. We have the duo of Serral and ZhuGeLiang. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have their opponents. We have the blue team here. We have our Terran, we have our Protoss. Together, they are Tiger and Replicant. They just took down uThermal and Goblin. Let's go! It just brought them down, and now they're up against a rare sight, a double Zerg team. Now, for those of you that remember, this is not the first time we've casted Serral play 2v2s. He actually was very successful when he played in the WTL 2v2 tournament. If you remember at the time, Serral, he joined forces with Oliveira, and honestly, it was a lot of fun. Like, I loved casting Serral and Oliveira just pop off and work together. If you remember, we had player cams as well, and it was great to see them on cams, and yeah, it was just a really cool, like, friendship that we were able to see kind of before us here between Serral and Oliveira. I would have loved to have seen more. Like, personally, I would have loved to see more of them, but of course, Oliveira is retired. So Oliveira, he's no longer available here to play with Serral, and alas, he does settle on ZhuGeLiang instead. Okay, so he is the Oliveira replacement. And I'll be honest, I haven't casted ZhuGeLiang in years. Like, infamously, you know, he was, of course, on Team Finland in Nation Wars. Even before that, of course, he was a pro player, was a competitor. Nowadays, he's retired. Like, ZhuGeLiang, straight up, he's a retired player. He doesn't really compete outside of Finnish tournaments. There are Finnish offline events that take place, like, on a semi-regular basis, and players like Mixu and ZhuGeLiang, they do compete in them. But for the most part, ZhuGeLiang, he's retired. Is retired, so I'm curious to see how he plays, as it's been years. It's been years since we've been able to cast him. I'm ready for it. It's been a long time. For now, Hatch Gas Pool. Hatch Gas Pool opener, standard play so far by Serral and ZhuGeLiang. They are settling in. Likewise, Replicant going for the scouts, dips into the main, dancing with the army. Shouldn't find any pickups here, as the queen has arrived. And we'll zone Replicant away. Back at home, likewise, economic openers. Just ranks expand into factory. Ooh, into a third CC for the first time this series. Replicant going for a very greedy build here, very economic. I say greedy in the sense that it's a 2v2, and we don't often see these kind of openers. Meanwhile, we do see Serral rushing into a lair. That is a sub 3-minute lair here out of Serral. Very aggressive, very committed. Likewise, ZhuGeLiang rushing into a third base. Okay, we're popping off. We are popping off. Now, based on this fast lair timing, I'm feeling 2-ace muta. I'm feeling 2-base muta here out of Serral. What I will say, though, because of the new mod that we're playing on, ZhuGeLiang, he cannot feed gas to Serral, not anytime soon. As, yeah, 4 gases. So 2-base muta. 2-base muta out of Serral. ZhuGeLiang is going to be rushing into the gold base, going into Roach play instead. So we have Ground Zerg out of ZhuGeLiang. We have Sky Zerg out of Serral. Meanwhile, across the map, DTs. Ooh, we have a DT opener here from Tiger. Twilight Council into Dark Shrine, into Prism across the map. There's that spy that we did mention. Again, based on this opener that we saw, the only thing it could be here is 2-base muta. Unless we were casting Miyamika, in which case I would say 2-base Hydra. There are some other variations depending on the player, but this is the more standard option. Likewise, it isn't just a DT opener, we have a fusion core as well. And Serral dives in with a scout, he scouts the Dark Shrine, he scouts the fusion core, he sees everything. Again, these Marines, they had one job, to deny the scouts, and they failed to do so. And what do we need? Detection. We need detection as quickly as possible. Remember that fast lair, which means fast overseer, which means detection or detectors are here for Serral. Roaches are amassing. We have 1 spore on the way. And the Dark Templar have arrived. But again, they don't have that surprise factor. As DTs, they attempt to waddle in. Roach Queen in position. Who will just zone that away? Oh! Catching out the Prism. Prism goes down. Massive pickup. Ay, ay, ay. Prism does fall. Not like this. Hellions, they came in towards the gold. No saturation, not yet. And the Roaches are keeping up. Roaches are keeping up here. See, zone away. Yeah, the armies are zoned back. Ooh. Getting behind the mineral line. And so far, the Zerg team, they're holding. Mutas are on the way. Quickly checking, were they scouted? They were not. The Spire has not been scouted, they don't know. Yeah, the Mutas are going to be catching the blue team off guard. No side defense, no turrets, no cannons, no nothing. Uh-oh. Replicant and Tiger, they're being caught with their pants down. Their pants, they're down, papi. Here come those Mutas. Now there is going to be a BC to help defend. There are some Archons, sure. But alas, there's no stim. Bio army is limited. Tiger going for a ninja base. Spinning on the right. He commits across the map. Once again, the gold base is under fire. The gold base is denied. But it may not matter, as the Mutas are popping off, catching out more probes. Getting into the mineral line. Remember, there's no blink. There's no blink on these Stalkers. And ZhuGeLiang doing well defending back at home. He shuts down the Archons, at least one of them. Takes down the second. BC has arrived. That will complicate things. ZhuGeLiang, he respects the BC. Backs off. And Serral is still wreaking havoc. Ooh, runs into the turret. Archon drop into the natural. Looks like that gold base is gonna fall. Prism goes down to the Mutas. And again, there's still no side defense. Tiger, he can't keep up. Not like this. And I'm afraid to look. How many probes have gone down? 21! 21 probe kills. And counting. 24. 24 workers. The Mutas, they shut down the Hellions as well. And so far as a team, they're doing well for themselves. Serral as the aggressor and ZhuGeLiang as the defender. As they collapse on top of the gold base, mass repair, not going to be good enough. Turret goes down, Lings, they hit the right-hand side. And both Tiger and Replicant, they're stuck on two bases. They contain onto a two-base economy here. Another turret's going to fall, just too many Mutas. Knocking down the turret, ZhuGeLiang moving in here with his Roaches. Catching out the Protoss army, at least trying to. A bit more of an awkward engage, but they do come together. Ooh, the Mutas are being hunted down by the Phoenixes, though. Oh, the catch! He gets one! Okay, nice catch so far. Doubles back, juiced out the Phoenix, gets one, gets all three. Takes out every single Phoenix. Ay, ay, ay. Brutal losses, one Phoenix survives. Mineral line still being abused. And Tiger, he's just being bullied. He's getting the goblin treatment. Oh no. Tiger. It doesn't feel good, does it? Doing his best goblin impression. Ay, ay, ay. Just getting torn apart by the harass. And now we're going for a big counterattack. Going for a big counterattack here. Replicant going for the sim. Gets into the middle line. Drone's going to be going down. And they're all in at this point. They're just completely all in. And both Serral and ZhuGeLiang, they have an overwhelming army. On their own, they can defend against this, but together, they shut it down completely. There's only 2 Medivacs, limited stims. The final push here for Replicants. He can't live because of the Mutas. He is cleaned up. GG gets called. And the Zerg duo, they take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. You know what this reminds me of? This, you know what this makes me long for here is Nation Wars. Like whenever I see ZhuGeLiang, I think of Nation Wars, and it's been a long time. It's a bit of a shame, of course, what happened with Nation Wars as well. Maybe one day we can bring it back. I know we have like Nation Clan Wars nowadays, every now and then, but Good to see him back, puppy. Good to see him back. GG, well played. Of course, what's important here, most importantly, is that the 2-base meter was unscouted. 2-base meter was unscouted. If you remember, the lair was morphed in the pocket base, and the spire was kept hidden as well. And alas, we saw that neither the Terran or the Protoss, neither Goblin or Replicant, were able to confirm. Because of that, the meters were completely unscouted, and the blue team was caught with their pants down. Likewise, really nice defense out of ZhuGeLiang. Should also emphasize that. I know that the meter harass was very flashy, very impressive, but more importantly, Serral was allowed to do so thanks to ZhuGeLiang with his Roach defense, able to buy time, didn't save the goal base on the low ground, but bought so much time here, just dancing with the main army and distracting the Protoss and Terran duo in doing so. Was able to distract them, was able to keep them busy, while Serral popped off. GG. GG, well played with that. Serral and ZhuGeLiang, they take a lead in the series. I should change their race logo. Bam, there we go. As a double Zerg. And now we're getting into game 2. We're going to be loading into Arctic Flowers. Let's go. Who is uThermal? I only know Manchego Mark. Oh, I only know uThermal, Pat. uThermal. He's a big anime fan. Este Mark. As spawning in the top right-hand corner. Top right-hand corner here of Arctic Flowers, we have our Finnish team, our Finnish duo here. The Red Zerg, along, I guess both Zerg players. We have our duo of ZhuGeLiang and Serral. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have their opponents. We have the Terran and Protoss duo here. Down in the series, we'll see if they can bounce back and force the ace match. It is Replicant and Tiger. Let's go. Let's go. As we are moving out. And I'll be honest, I've never played on Arctic Flowers before. I think we may have casted once in January on this map, but yeah, interesting. I mean, once again, I do appreciate that we have a revamped 2v2 map pool on the ladder. Do appreciate it. I haven't played 2v2 since it got revamped like a year ago, but regardless, looking forward to it one day. We have shared main bases, shared natural bases as well. We have speed zones coming into play. We have a speed zone on the right, speed zone on the left-hand side as well, which could be a factor. Nowadays, we don't actually have any speed zones in the current map pool, so on the 1v1 map pool, I should say. So great to see them once again. As our players are building up. And once again, hatch gas pool. Hatch gas pool out of ZhuGeLiang, hatch gas pool out of Serral as well. So standard openers for the time being. Likewise, we have our economic openers back at home as well. Bases are on the way. And after what happened in Game 1, I'm sure both Tiger and Replicant are going to be a lot more adamant about scouting and checking what our two Zerg players are up to. Specifically looking for hidden tech and those lair timings as well. I'm sure they're going to be all over it. I see. When is you think? Ah, no. Ah. Este uThermal. SMH. This 250-ish lair timing is something that Serral likes so far. One game, I think, so far in the circuit that he didn't do it. Interesting. I mean, again, this is my first time casting Serral's current form of 2v2. I mentioned before that he did used to play with Oliveira, of course, during WTL, during the show match kind of circuit that they had. But I can definitely see it being quite effective. We'll see if that continues. So far, both players just joining up. Just going to be saturating. Would you have a... Ooh, Tiger going for a proxy Stargate. Let's go. Stargate is on the way. But as much as I'm joking, big shout to uThermal, big shout to Mark in the chat for allowing for this event to be possible, for hosting the tournaments, for allowing for funding to occur as well. I know that the community did gather around to actually make the circuit a reality. So big shout to the community and to Mark and to Goblin, of course. As, again, you can check out Mark's commentary or uThermal's commentary on his own channel, whether it's on Twitch or on YouTube. I'm sure it's all over the place. And I believe there's also an initiative taking place regarding the 2v2 ladder. I believe it's taking place for the 2v2 and the Archon ladder as well, from different parties, of course. But it's just a way to incentivize kind of ladder and incentivize play here on the ladder as well in game, outside of just tournaments. So a really nice initiative here. And it's something that we used to have back in the day, if you remember. Back in WCS, you know, ladder qualifiers used to be a thing. They used to be a lot more common, and it would really help kind of incentivize play on the ladder and kind of increase the activity between all these players and increase competition. And that has kind of fallen by the wayside. But ladder qualifiers used to be a big thing. For now, though, we are moving out. Tiger, of course, with the Oracle Opener. Doesn't really get much done. Lair is finishing up once again here for one of our Zerg players for ZhuGeLiang this time. Okay, interesting. So a more standard Lair timing out of Serral, an earlier Lair out of ZhuGeLiang even, and we are rushing into Roaches. Okay, rushing into Roach speed. Roaches are building up. Replicant moving out with his own double drop. And ZhuGeLiang, he's going to be staying here on a lower drone count. Getting his third base, but not saturated yet. Double drop into the main is deflected. The Oracle gets 5 drones, not bad. 5 workers going down. Proxy gets found, gets Z-powered. So far, the defense is solid. And it looks like ZhuGeLiang, he wasn't going for an all-in. He was rushing to Roaches, don't get me wrong, and now working towards Hydras alongside it. Oh, sorry, that's Serral. But did rush towards Roaches, but only to secure himself. Roach speed is done. Now he's droning up, building up his 3-base economy. And Serral instead working towards Hydras. Interesting. I'm most interested just because I feel like Roach Hydra, they do often get in each other's way in 2v2. Or they can get in each other's way. So I'm curious to see how the armies do work together. Or how they don't work together. We'll see. So Ling Hydra out of Serral. We have Roach Ravager out of ZhuGeLiang. Oracle Harass is attempted. Is going to be shut down. As Liberate Harass does continue. So far, the defense is solid. Mining is denied. Drone's going to be falling. It's going to be 1 drone kill so far on this lid. It is cleaned up. As the harass continues here, trying to get into the middle line. The last Serral, he does react in time, does pull away. Sorry, ZhuGeLiang even. But why are they both red? And ZhuGeLiang, he does defend. Not bad. Blackbeard's defending at both locations at once. And Roaches are in position. Shutting down the drop play. Liberating to the main. Harassing Serral. Gets 2 drones. Is cleaned up. And soon the defense will be over. Soon we can see both Serral and ZhuGeLiang. They're building up their forces. And they will soon move out and gain map control. And I'm also certain here that Replicant has dealt enough damage. He's been spending so much supply harassing. Back at home trying to build up. Still moving out across the map. Again, the army is quite lacking here for the Terran as he's been harassing. Meanwhile, we have double Immortal production out of Tiger. Double Immortal into another Stargate. Double Star... Wait, what? Okay. It's almost like a Protoss mech composition going Mass Immortal into Skytoss, question mark? With the Bay... There we go. He does cancel the second Stargate. I was a little bit confused. Going into Ground Toss. Storm, Bay, Colossus, High Templar. It's working in that direction. But again, this is what I was worried about. Here we go. Here comes the move out. And again, our Terran player did spend so much supply harassing that the main army is lacking. Here comes Team Finland. Ah. The Finnish duo. Links towards the right. Main army towards the left. They knock down an expansion. Start stepping up the ramp. When Tiger not quite able to deal with this on his own. I mean, he's by himself. And Storm is not done. Yeah, Hat Templar being forced back. No Storms. Immortals, they get surrounded. And where's the teammate? He can't do this on his own. Replicant, he comes in, but too little too late. The Protoss army crumbles. Storm gonna finish up in a couple seconds. But again, Serral and ZhuGeLiang, they break through the defensive line. Storm connects. And there's one storm remaining. Pretty good storms. But that's all there is. Just 2 storms. And there's nothing else left. ZhuGeLiang and Serral, they snowball out of control. They break through the main army. They get on top of the production. Again, this entire game, they were just focusing on defense. They were surviving the aggression. And then they break out. Then they reach their final form here of Roach Hydra. And they cannot be stopped. The harass just wasn't good enough. It just wasn't good enough damage. They didn't kill enough SCVs or drones. And here we go. GG gets called. Oh, the storms. We get a couple more storms here while we can. Before we tap out. Not often that you get to storm Serral, but GG gets called, and Serral and ZhuGeLiang, they will take the series at 2-0, advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. GG, well played. Again, a solid defense here from our duo to be able to survive the Oracle harass, the Liberators, the Hellion run-bys, the Marine drops as well. And again, as we were trying to emphasize, so much supply from Replicant at least, and even Tiger as well, was being spent on harassing, and they were losing their units as well. They weren't conserving their Hellions, they weren't preserving their drop play, their drops either. Was all being thrown away, and they were getting a handful of drones at a time, a handful of workers. It was just very inefficient trades from our Protoss and Terran duo, and that eventually led into that breakout moment. Both Serral and ZhuGeLiang, they hit 150 supply. They were stable, they were solid, they moved out, they could not be stopped. GG. GG, well played, congratulations. With that, we have our first semifinals ready for us. Oh boy, up next is going to be Serral and ZhuGeLiang going up against Clem and Trigger. Let's go. Clem and Trigger, of course, they were last month's runner-up, and likewise we have the other semifinals here. It's going to be Max Pax and Spirit, who are the reigning champions, going up against Alazer and Skillus. Oh boy. Now, we are getting towards that halfway mark in the broadcast, so we're going to be going on a break. We're going to be going on a short break here. Take this moment to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, drain your disruptors, massage your Marines, and hydrate all of your Hydras. When we come back, we'll have the semifinals and the grand finals thereafter. Oh boy. Here we go. Archon Ladder has been dead for so long. Well, yeah, that's why there is kind of an initiative that's taking place to try to incentivize ladder play for 2v2 and for Archon as well. For both. But yes, for now though, we're going to be going on that break. We're going to be coming back soon in a couple of minutes with those semis. See you soon.